Welcome to the Pull the Chair podcast brought to you by the Gryd Network. I am your host, Paris Brown. With me, one of my co-hosts, Dylan Lima. And special guest today, as you can see, it is not Tyler who is here today. Special guest, Josh Tariff from the Gryd Network on the show with Mike and Josh and on the show with Barry every on Mike and Josh on Thursday and Barry on Wednesdays. Stop he's talking about wrestling. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. I mean, Tyler's doing great. I've always wanted to be known as Tyler. I felt it was time for a name change,
Ah,
and
gotcha.
what better place to try it out than the Pull the Chair podcast with you
There you
two?
go.
I feel like I
Tyler
can pull off
Tariff.
being a pretty good Tyler Tariff, TT. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, alliteration.
So that's our new Tyler for this week. Dylan, how you doing this week, man?
Oh, I'm doing well. Luckily my identity hasn't changed yet. But besides, Celtics have been a little concerning lately. They've been struggling against some really good teams. But yeah, I'm just excited for the playoffs to get going.
And we'll definitely get into that, man. We got a lot to talk about this week. Just want to start off. We've mentioned this multiple times this year, and once again, it happens. Speaking of it, just going right into it, talking about Kevin Durant, he is now fifth all time scoring, passing the great Michael Jordan. So now he is just over 1,000 points away from Kobe Bryant being fourth, which obviously he's not doing the math. He has a score. He averages 27 points a game. He needs 52 more games to do that. So obviously he's not going to do that this year. But I mean, doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. He'll pass Kobe next year. Then the next one's what? You got Karl Malone. This dude is on his path to become third, maybe second at this rate. And I know we've talked about him a good amount on this show, so not going to go into too much. But man, that's 3 records this year? He went from like 8th to 5th this year in just 1 year?
He's been rapidly climbing, man. I mean, he's one of the best scorers of all time. He will always go down in infamy for his Warriors stint. That will never change. How people look at him, and considering he's kind of just a player for hire ever since, like he's been a big person that kind of said screw like being loyal to a team. I'm just gonna try to do what's best for me. No matter what, he always shows out. He's always the best player in every team he's on, and once again, despite age, like he could still go a couple more years. Who's to say that he could reach third place all time? I think it's very possible he could be there.
Yeah, man. I mean, the dude averaging what? He's 30 some years old, still averaging 27 points a goal. He's a leading scorer on this young team. What Kevin Durant's doing.
Yeah,
I
30,
mean,
37 years old.
37 years old. And that's a leading scorer on this young team. But this team, very struggling a lot recently. And right now they're down 20 points to the Chicago Bulls of all teams. They're losing 44-63 to the 28 and 42 Chicago Bulls. And we've done a lot of talk about, what the Rockets can do. I mean, what's the issue with the Rockets right now? Are they not going to make a good playoff run this year at this point? I mean, going down 20 points to a Chicago Bulls team looks terrible.
I mean, to put it bluntly, no, they're not going to have a good playoff run because when you break down the way their stats are, they're an excellent defensive team who has no point guard and no offensive identity with the exception of Kevin Durant. I mean, based with the NBA.com averages, you got the Rockets are first in the league in rebounds and fourth in the league in blocks, which is great.
Okay.
Then they're 21st in points per game, 26th in free throw percentage, and 27th in 3 points made. And we know this is a score-first league right now. So you mentioned they're down 20 to the Bulls. Team points per game, the Bulls are 13th in the league. Their defense is deplorable, but they're scoring points. Other teams in the West that are higher in points per game than the Rockets, besides your obvious teams up top, the Utah Jazz are ahead of them. The Grizzlies are ahead of them. The Pelicans are way ahead of them in points per game. So when you have to deal with teams like the Nuggets and the Thunder and the Spurs and the Lakers, who I know we're going to touch on, shortly, as great as you are in rebounding the ball, you got to score. And if you're a team that's not going to score and can't facilitate scoring outside of 37-year-old Kevin Durant, you're not going to do anything in the playoffs. I don't care how good a defensive team you are.
Yeah, and Amin Thompson, Albert Sengun are crucial parts of this team as far as like facilitating the ball and scoring when it's not Kevin Durant. And quite frankly, these guys they're not quite there yet. They haven't reached the steps where they could like be at their prime and have the game fully slowed down. Like Kevin Durant is way at the end of his window of like capabilities. And granted, he's still a fantastic player, but you can't keep on giving him this load deep in the playoffs. Someone like Sengun needs to step up because he is kind of like a hybrid big. Like he's like a Jokic light. To be as respectful, where he could facilitate, he could board, he could score. He doesn't have that same defensive presence that Jokic has. He doesn't have that same exact build, but so like he definitely needs to step up. And Amin Thompson isn't quite a real point guard facilitator either. No. So like he's way more there for the defense and the lockdown side. So they do have a weird offensive identity that overall against teams that definitely have things figured out, they're going to be struggling big time.
They need a true point guard. That's what they need because Amin Thompson is not a true point guard. And this year he's averaging 5 assists. Granted, I don't think you can ask him. I don't think he'll be capable of averaging more than 5 assists in a season. That's just not the type of player he is. He's a great defender. He's really athletic, but he's not a passer and he's also not a shooter. That also makes an issue as a guard that can't shoot. It's a big thing to do at guard.
And the other thing, though, that we have especially learned over these last few years between the success of the Thunder and the Nuggets and even the Celtics of what we all seen this year with them, the key thing on a team to succeed is depth. The Rockets do not have that. No. Now, yes, Fred VanVleet would have been their obvious point guard who's been out all year. Steven Adams, hurt. But then they didn't necessarily do any moves for the trade deadline. And when you look at their bench consists of guys like Aaron Holiday, Clint Capella, Dorian Finney-Smith. Is anyone intimidated yet? Because I'm not.
Nope. The only one you got that does something is Reed Shepherd. The only bench guy you got right now.
Right. Because, I mean, and yeah, because he's doing decently, 13 points a game. And, they're giving him plenty of minutes, especially being that there's no Fred VanVleet. So he's getting even more time for that reason. But, yeah, you have one of these guys, if one of these players gets banged up or gets in foul trouble in the playoffs, okay, now we got to rely on Josh Okogie to step up. And
Tari Eason to throw another name out there of guys that just you don't expect them to perform when needed.
Right. I mean they got 49-year-old Jeff Green on their bench waiting for his moment.
Hey, 2K legend right there, man.
Hey,
in his time is great.
I'll take Clint Capella sit on their bench. I destroyed with Clint Capella in some 2K. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah,
he just played a trade for him, Clint Capella too. You can get him on any team.
So yeah, I do not take Houston seriously heading the playoffs, which is a shame because, like I said, Sengun, absolutely Jokic light. That's the comparison with him, and he's continuing to get better. Ahmed Thompson is continuing to get better, just kind of thrown into a position where maybe he's not really fit for due to their injuries. Jabari Smith has been fairly consistent, but he's obviously not meant to be your top tier option. And then you got Kevin Durant.
Speaking of Jabari Smith, like it's halftime. The Rockets are down 40-65. Jabari Smith has 0 points.
I mean, he's so inconsistent. He's such an on guy. When he's on, he's great. When he's off, you don't want him on the team.
All right, I'm pulling up this full box score now because now you just got me curious on.
Jabari Smith is 17 minutes, 0 points, 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 4 from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
that's not good. I'm not an expert in this, but I don't think that's good.
No assists, no steals, no block, 1 turnover. Just what's that?
And this Bulls team is not good. This is a team that's trying to tank.
But the Bulls, Colin Sexton off the bench with 20 points in the first half for the Bulls.
Hey, at least maybe found somewhere it could fit.
All right.
I think they're
when Colin Sexton off the bench has the same amount of points or just about the same amount of points as Sengun and Amen together. That's a problem.
Big time.
So I mean, how the standings look right now? The Rockets, what, third place? Still the fourth place in the West. You think they are gone first round? That you don't even think they get through a past the first round right now?
I don't think so. I did. I think it was Josh said earlier with
No, Tyler. Remember, my
the
name's
lack of
Tyler
depth.
today.
Sorry,
Tyler.
New Tyler.
PT.
Yeah, TT, good, the boy. It's
Teeing you
just
up.
they don't have the depth. They just don't have the depth, plain simple. And
I
at
mean,
the end of the day, that's gonna be big when Kevin Durant needs to take a breather.
they're going to be facing either the Nuggets or Timberwolves first round. That's the spot they're in, and
Or the Lakers if they fall down to like the six, because again, 3 through 6 are all neck and neck, so they could all be shifting. But
yeah.
to Dylan's point, yeah, I mean, I don't really see them in a 7-game series outlasting any of those teams, because all those teams have at least a little more depth than them, and one guy goes down and one guy gets in foul trouble for Houston, they're in trouble.
The last thing I want to mention with the Rockets, then, one, do you think KD stays on this team another year, or is he gone after 1 year?
I don't know, man. We saw with the controversy at the All-Star game with him saying having some choice words about his teammates. It doesn't seem like chemistry's at an all-time high there.
Can you be mad about what he said to Jabari Smith when he's playing like this against the Bulls?
He may not be wrong, but when he's flat out calling Jabari Smith a retard, like it's just that doesn't, like, it's not something you want out there in the public, plain and simple. Like, I mean, I know Kevin Durant is a diva, and like he's only there on teams that win, and like if he once things go bad, he's gone, plain and simple. And I just can't see the Rockets signing on for another year for him. They wanna get younger. They need more depth, and Kevin Durant is also, a lot of money on his contract.
I agree with you. They want to get younger. The thing is, he is locked in. He's getting 43. He's getting 43.9 million from them next year, and then has a player option in 2027, 28. Right. So option one, can you find a team willing to take on that salary for at that point 38-year-old player, as good as he is, he'd still be 38. Would someone be willing to take that much cap space for him? And B, say they do keep him for another year. Well, then he's 39 with a player option. Well, at that point, why would he want to go anywhere? He's like, no, I'll just get paid. So this is the same incredible move if someone were to find the cap space for him in a win now mode, to bring him in for at least 1 year.
NBA trades don't surprise me anymore. He forced his way out of Brooklyn, going to Phoenix, and I'm like, oh man, this is great. Like, he signed him, because keep in mind, this contract was when he was on the Suns. He got this contract, and still halfway through, he was like, I want out. We're not winning the way I want to. I want out of here. And then sure enough, he's on the Rockets, and he's still quality. Like he has one of those games. Like, I think what makes Kevin Durant special is that his game is future proof, similar to like a Curry, where it's not as physically demanding. Like, when I think of like a Zion Williamson, a John Morant, like these dudes that have to get to the rack and dunk and do all this jumping, like Kevin Durant, he could just play at his pace, get into the mid range, get his spot, and he's a way bigger guy, so he could just shoot over as pretty much almost anyone in the league anyways. So I think, like, he's been pretty healthy. Like, he still played 60 something games this year.
Yeah, he's played most games.
Like, like if he was having injury problems, then I'd be a little more concerned. But yeah, 67 games. He's played the most games out of anyone on the Rockets this year, which is insane. So I'm pretty sure
all them young
teams
players
will find a way. I'm pretty sure the team will find a way to get him on their team.
I'll just throw this out there just for fun. Based on teams that could afford his contract onto their current roster, why not Charlotte? The Charlotte Hornets can do it, apparently. And they have young players.
Yes, sir.
They have young players.
Yeah.
You put him, the vet, with their young talent that they got going with LaMelo and Knuppel and all of them.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not Charlotte at this point?
But then who do you give? Who do you give for that?
Well, you give a pick, you give some of their young players. I mean, yeah, you obviously make it work.
Brandon Miller comes to mind. They got
Brandon Miller.
They
I
got
mean,
a couple young guys.
That's one of those. Would they not, keep him? That's just one random team that comes to mind. But it'd be fun.
Yes.
But let's also, if Kevin Durant were to move one more time in his career, is he already the greatest journeyman in the history of the NBA? Because he's been on how many teams now? 5?
Yeah, I mean, what? You got Thunder, Warriors, Nets, Suns, Rockets.
That's 5, and so that would be then a 6th team.
I'll give Shaq it because he got the rainbow. Not to mention
he did hit the rainbow.
Dominant.
He did do that. You're right.
So but Kevin Durant, it's either Kevin Durant or Shaq as far as journeymen go, because Kevin Durant is honestly in that air. I think another ring would do great things for his legacy because it's always like those Warriors rings. You had to join a 73-win team to get those 2 rings, and then. I mean, they unfortunately lost against the Raptors because he blew out his Achilles, in that series. I think it was game 1 too. It was really early in that series.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, that definitely changes things. And look, Shaq had a 3-peat of his own +1 with the Heat. So he's always been that guy. No matter what team he's been on, he's always been that guy.
The big difference though with Shaq as journeyman compared to Durant was in Shaq's last couple years. He was barely seeing the court, during his time in Boston and Cleveland, wasn't playing all that much. While Durant, as we've discussed, he's still leading this team in scoring.
He's playing on the team.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The late 30 years definitely do matter because Shaq was definitely broken down after the Heat years. And Kevin Durant looks like he's good.
That's all
he looks like he's ready to play.
Yeah,
he loves basketball.
He could care less who he's for. He wants to go to whoever's paying him is going to win because he's like, I'm older. Let me just go shoot the ball. Let me go play a pickup game and get paid for it. That's all he cares for right now.
Don't worry. His burner Twitter account will put up trade rumors in no time. So.
Now going to another West team. We've talked about the Rockets a lot, and we've kind of shit on the Lakers a lot. The Lakers are 9-1 in their last 10 games. Luka just dropped 60 against the Heat, Bam's team who put up 83. Luka dropped 60 and beats them. We did a lot of talk about, this Lakers team has nothing. They're not going to be a playoff team. This Lakers team has figured it out at the right point of the year. 9-1. They're facing the Pistons right now in a 3-point game against the Pistons. Granted, Kate Cunningham is out for the Pistons right now, so they're missing a big player. But I know we said a lot about the Lakers, but are they going to at least win a series in the playoffs now at this rate?
As long as they don't play Denver, yes. Denver's the only, and again, in that foursome that you got, Lakers, Rockets, Nuggets, Wolves. Lakers play the Rockets, I'm picking the Lakers. Lakers playing the Wolves, I'm picking the Lakers. Lakers playing the Nuggets, I'm not going to bet against Jokic and playoff Jamal Murray against them. And then get into the second round, if they were to get to the second round, well, then you're dealing with either the Nuggets, the Thunder, or the Spurs, and you ain't beating any of them.
You think they can beat the Timberwolves, though?
I do. I think Luka can single-handedly help with the Timberwolves because the Timberwolves are such an interesting team, honestly. As great as Anthony Edwards is, and you have other players on that team that can deliver and can contribute, they just don't seem to do it on a consistent basis, especially as consistent as what we've seen out of Luka and Austin Reeves, and now LeBron falling into this third option role that he's
passer role.
He's an
assist guy at this point.
Right. Honestly, the biggest thing that surprises me with this run that the Lakers have done with the team that they have is, being that I live in LA, I hear it all the time on radio. The amount of the lack of love that JJ Redick gets. Because in my opinion, JJ Redick should be a finalist for Coach of the Year if the Lakers finish third in the West. And if you go to the BetMGM odds right now, JJ Redick is not even in the top 8.
Oh, wow.
Right now, that's too low.
Like right now, your top three, and I can understand the top three: JB Bickerstaff, Joe Mazzulla, and Mitch Johnson are your. And again, like, all right, I'm not going to argue that. And then you have Charles Lee, the coach of Charlotte, in fourth.
And listen, he's done a lot for Charlotte. Like, that Charlotte team is completely different than the last year, but like they're not Laker level.
Well, no, I think they're going to make the play in. So why would he be considered coach of the year?
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I think the thing with the Lakers is that it's like very late surge with them. I felt like it took a long time and things weren't bouncing the right way. Like Luka was out for a period of time. LeBron, like he's in his 40s now. Like he can't really play like he used to, and he still finds a way to impact the game. You'll have his couple games where he brings out the vintage LeBron, but now you really got to look at Austin Reeves. DeAndre Ayton has kind of had a little bit of a revival now towards the second half of the season. Like it took him a while to really buy in with the Lakers, and I think that's been paying dividends. My thing though with the Timberwolves is that I'm a big fan of Anthony Edwards. I think as far as guards go, like I maybe Shai, Luka. Like Luka's definitely obviously like one of the best guards in the league, no doubt. But I think Anthony Edwards is right up there with them. And
I agree.
They have a lengthy team, man. They're very physically defensive. That I think the Lakers don't have that same defensive presence.
I mean, between Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. And I don't really like Rudy Gobert, but Rudy Gobert is going to make DeAndre Ayton not do a single thing in that series. That DeAndre Ayton is going to be a no-show in that series. It's going to be Ant and Luka because, I mean, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, LeBron's going to do enough to slow down Julius Randle, and LeBron's going to have moments. It's the playoffs. Like 40-year-old LeBron doesn't matter. He's going to have moments. It really comes down to Ant and Luka, and both of them can take over games. Both of them step up in the playoffs. My thing, Luka's made it to a finals. Ant's made it farther every single year with this Timberwolves team. I don't know. I think the Timberwolves can outpace them. Give them 7 games. If the Lakers have to win, they have to do it before 7 games.
And not to mention, Ayo DeSumo was I think a massive pickup for them come the trade deadline. So between him, Bones Highland, Anthony Edwards, they have a great guard rotation. And then Naz Reid, like he's someone that doesn't get enough love coming off the bench. Like he's such an energizing like dude that will knock down threes. He'll be there in the paint to friggin' swat you. Like he's all over the place. So I think they'll match up very well. And if you're telling me like, yeah, they just got more depth, man. Because like Austin Reeves, like Marcus Smart is kind of washed. Like he's still making an impact off the bench, but he's not what he used to be. He still does that, and that's where he's at. And then Rui Hachimura, like I don't know, man. You start getting thin fast.
Rui's inconsistent. That's Rui's issue. He can have games, but like you just never know when he's gonna show up. And I don't know. Yeah, that's a lot of players. The Timberwolves have a good amount of players. With the Lakers, it's really. I mean, you got Luka and Austin. They can put up big numbers. And LeBron, funny enough, LeBron now is the wild card. What is he going to do? Because right now against the Pistons, he's like 5 points. He could do that. He can still go put up 20. So, like, funny enough, LeBron now is a wild card. What is he going to do in that series? Is he going to start dropping bigger points again? Because he can. It's not like he can't do it. It's just he doesn't, he's older. He doesn't, let Austin do these. But in a series like that, he's going to have to score. And again, I don't know, 7 games? A lot, 7 games. So with that, I do think first round. This West is tough, man. The West is just a very tough spot to be in, and with the Lakers being 3, them and the Timberwolves will be a great first round. Now, if the Rockets fall to 6, yeah, the Lakers got it. The Lakers got it. If the Rockets fall to 6, but yeah, the Timberwolves or Nuggets. That 3, they might not make it out with that 3 seed. They might not. I don't see it. I don't see it. They just don't have the depth for it. But LeBron also, speaking of age, LeBron now has the most games of any NBA player. He did just break that record as well. Most games beating.
I honestly thought he already had that for a while, but then I saw like, oh wait, he doesn't even have that yet. that just makes you forget how long Robert Parrish played.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron's been
Hail
playing the
to
entire.
the Chief, Robert Parrish. Well, your Dylan, you got the Celtics hat going with it for
Yeah.
Robert Parrish there.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Robert Parrish during those 80s championships were amazing. I mean, they were a great team, and he played for a very long time. And, he's definitely one of the greats when you talk about those Larry Bird seasons.
And it's funny because LeBron, I would have thought that too, because LeBron's he's got drafted the year I was born. So all I know is LeBron in the league. That's literally all I know. It's LeBron playing basketball. So
And thank you for making me feel extra old, Paris. I appreciate that very much.
Listen,
Get off my lawn.
Listen, I can't control that, man. That's just how the numbers work, man. I was born, LeBron was in the league. LeBron, that's all I know. So the NBA is LeBron. That's all I know, the NBA. So the weird thing is when he does retire, I've never seen a league without him. I've never seen a league without a LeBron in there. So that, I guess, who can play that long? And play it long at a high level. I get LeBron's, definitely this year slow, but at a high level, LeBron's played forever at this point.
I mean, we're saying he's slowing down, but he still averages 21 in the games. He's the points per game when he plays 50 games. Like, he's still like amazing. Like he's just one of those guys that, I mean, like, there's a reason why you talk about Jordan, you talk about LeBron, and then you talk about maybe Will and Shaq. Like, when you talk about like the all-time greats, like Tyler. I know you've seen Jordan. You've seen Jordan play in his years, and obviously
I've seen Peach Baskets.
I'm sure you think
I've seen Jordan. I've seen George Mikan run up and down. Yes, I'm old. I get it.
Line.
Yes,
the 3-point line. I saw that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, LeBron could very well be the GOAT in his own right, especially in his era.
Absolutely.
No one stands up to him. And moving forward, it's like Jokic doesn't have the fire to carry that torch as far as like playing for a long period of time. Kevin Durant, I mean, he even with his spectacular career, he still won't be able to catch many of LeBron's records. So it's going to really have to take like a Wemby type of player, which has a questionable height and weight. Is that longevity? Like, is he going to be able to play a long time? Maybe, maybe not.
Nowhere near as long as LeBron. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Unfortunately. We've already seen the issues with him. So, like, there's no way he gets that long, unfortunately.
Exactly. So, LeBron's going to be immortalized forever for as great as he has been.
And we mentioned we were talking about the Timberwolves a minute ago, and that goes into the next one. The Timberwolves beat the Celtics 102-92. Sweeped an 18-year losing streak in Boston, and I know that now that has you worried about Boston as their record against 500 teams isn't the best. And Tatum has just came back. Tatum, I mean, he's looked okay. He's looked good for just coming off an ACL injury. He can drop doubles, but like, yeah, with a bad 500 record, what do you need to see from this team? What do they need to do to improve?
It's been very frustrating, and I am trying to keep patient with Jason Tatum because, of course, coming back from ruptured Achilles as fast as he has been is unseen. Like, for Damian Lillard, he still hasn't played a game yet. He tore his Achilles around the same time. Granted, older, which is definitely a lot harder to recover from an injury like that. And it's very amazing that he's been able to be impactful right now as we speak. Because honestly, if you told me in the beginning of the season that Jason Tatum was coming back, I wouldn't believe you. I'd call you crazy. But
he wanted to make that Kobe return, man. Him and Kobe.
Yeah, but it's like it's just so tough because when you only score 92 against a Timberwolves team without Anthony Edwards, you only score 89 against the Charlotte Hornets and lose by almost 30. You lose against albeit close games with the Thunder and Spurs, and then you could go back to scoring only 84 against the Nuggets. Like, they take care of business of teams that are definitely worse than them. Like if the friggin' Brooklyn Nets are coming to town, or the Sixers, we always own the Sixers. Doesn't matter who's playing. Take care of business. But when I see them go against actually quality teams with above 500 records, they just seem to tighten up. They get careless with the basketball. They're not moving the ball around like they should. Like Tatum and Brown kind of resort to old habits of, all right, this is my turn for this possession. I'm going to go and try to make something happen. And, all right, now it's your turn going up the court and try to make something happen to score or maybe assist someone. Against the Timberwolves, they had 17 assists as a team and 11 turnovers. Like, that can't be happening. You got to be more willing to move the ball around and make things happen, or you're just going to be stagnant and throw up bullshit. That's the only way we could call. When Jason Tatum. Fuck.
You're good. Here gets to you, bro.
He's just so flustered.
Even the mic.
So flustered about the Celtics, he's knocking his microphone out.
Yeah. I short-circuited my thing with my passion, but when I see Jason Tatum dribbling up the court with 20 seconds left on the shot clock and just shooting a three before anyone else touches the ball, like, great. It's great when it goes in. When I see it clank and bounce off to the sideline out of bounds, like, I want to rip my head off. Like, that's why it really makes me scared. Like, do they have enough time to gel to, be the quality Celtics team that they always are year in and year out? I'm getting worried. That's all I got to say.
Dylan, may I tell you, being that you're a Celtics fan, I don't think you need to worry about a thing. And I don't think you need to worry about a thing because this is exactly what should be happening with them right now. Because you're bringing your all-star back into the fold. So you need time to readjust your rosters, your lineups, and figuring out what is working and what is not as he is getting healthy himself. And then obviously a little wrench got thrown in with the Vucevic injury, where he should be back just before playoff time. Because I have been adamant on the Mike and Josh show, which of course you can check out on the Grid every Thursday. Mm-hmm. I've been telling Mike Guido the Vucevic trade was the most impactful trade of the deadline because you bringing in an automatic double-double who is a better stretch five than Porzingis at this day and age. Back to Boston where Jaylen Brown playing at MVP level, Derek White playing well, Peyton Pritchard playing well, and then, oh, by the way, Jason Tatum's back now. So I was not going to be surprised if they did fall a little down the ranks heading towards the end of the regular season as they reacclimate the roster. But by the time playoffs come, especially with this Cade Cunningham punctured lung thing, and who knows what the status of him is going to be, I truly think Boston is far and away the favorites coming out of the East this year. So I hope that, calmed you down a little bit. I hope that got your mic plugged back in. We're trying to keep it PG rated, and I'm just doing everything we can to put a smile on that face.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I've seen this story before with this team. It's more or less just the old habits die hard. Like, especially last season against the Knicks when all they did was shoot threes. Like, I do
108 threes in 2 games.
They really didn't have the paint presence last year that they have this year. Like, even with Neemias Queta and Luka Garza, they've been nothing but great true bigs on the team. Like, Neemias Queta had a 27-point, 17-board game not too long ago, and he had another 22-point game as of late too. Like, he's someone that is on the cusp of like developing and being that guy where he's still a very traditional big, but someone like Vooch that could stretch the floor and still get boards, like having a rotation of those 3 bigs is something that I've always missed with these Celtics teams. Now it's just can Jason Tatum like pass the ball, please? Can Jaylen Brown not dribble the ball off his foot because he's trying to get to his spot in the mid range? I've seen watching Derek White. He wants to make his impact, of course, and he's very well deserving. He's by far one of the best defensive guards in the whole league, and he's a fantastic catch and shooter. But sometimes when he tries to get into his float game, he bricks. And I mean, again, I'm being very nitpicky, but like obviously it's a passion that I bring with this where. I do think ultimately they will be fine. But when I see teams like the Knicks and how physical and as far as size, because like it's going to become to like when I saw the Timberwolves game, how physical they were and just bullying them. Like the Celtics kind of like to draw fouls. They try their best to get to the line as they can and don't go too much to plan. When you have Jaylen Brown getting booted. But like it's one of those things that I just wish sometimes they would be smarter with the ball, play it simple, because this is the same thing I've seen year after year after year.
So playoffs come around in the East, and the Celtics Knicks matchup happens again. Who do you think who think Celtics come out of it this time?
I 100% think Celtics come out of it.
Okay.
And not only do I think the Celtics come out of it, to me, Karl Anthony Towns is starting to tiptoe towards James Harden playoff mentality. He's like one more year of getting into the second round or so and not showing up. He is in trouble. I mean, when you look at the way it's set right now, if the season ended today, Knicks would play Atlanta in the first round. Yeah, I have the Knicks winning that. But then, against Boston in the second round, no, I don't. And, again, depending on the way the standings are, if the Knicks, and I know it's going to sound biased, but if the Knicks end up with the Orlando Magic in the first round, and if the Magic are actually healthy for once, I don't see Karl Anthony Towns stopping Paolo. So
OG Anunoby, man.
You got OG Anunoby, but again, I said if healthy, because then he has to deal with Franz Wagner. That's the big issue that the Magic have had. Yep. I mean, in now nearly 2 seasons, their big three of Suggs, Paolo, and Franz have played together, I believe, 9 games. It's been atrocious. So that said, going back with the Knicks, we know Jalen Brunson is clutch player of the year worthy for a reason. We know how incredible he is. And you got a great supporting cast like OG Anunoby, like Josh Hart. I love Mitchell Robinson. Cat turns into a liability when you get deeper into the playoffs. And until he changes that, I cannot pick the Knicks over the Celtics.
Definitely after beating them last year. That's a big thing for the Celtics. The Celtics don't want to get beat again in the playoffs. And I mean, honestly, funny enough, I think this panel all has it out against the Knicks because being a Pacers fan here, fuck the Knicks. Oh, God.
It's nothing personal against the Knicks. It's more so I'm just not a fan of Cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love the Knicks getting into the finals. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I got no problem with the Knicks involved for the guys I just listed: Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns. Until he stops being a taller version of James Harden in the playoffs, then I can't expect them to get deep.
I think the biggest problem with Karl Anthony Towns' game, because I think he is a very good player. He's a big that doesn't have a big style game. Like he is very shy of being an interior defensive guy. Like being a center as tall as Karl Anthony Towns is and only averaging 0.6 blocks per game is not good.
But he gets a lot of rebounds still, though. So he's down there.
I mean, the thing
and his
is
points per game are down
team,
too. He's only at 20 points a game this season.
But Mitchell Robinson's the only other big on that team. No one else, they have a lot of wings that are lengthy guys, but they're not massive. Jalen Brunson is your main guy, and he'll be the guy that carries the Knicks through this series. But he's 6'3", 6'4", I want to say. He doesn't have a spectacular 3-point shot. He has to be like a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but he's a mini version. He's not going to play defense. Going up against a Derek White or a Jaylen Brown, he's going to get cooked. So, yeah, I definitely do think the Celtics get them in that series. But what happened last year was the Celtics choked and just threw themselves out of the game. It wasn't even
I will say he is leading the team in 3-point percentage at 37% from 3, which is solid. His thing is because he's trying to do everything for the team, he's only taken about 7 threes a game, which in this day and age is honestly not a ton if you were a 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
He's obviously more facilitate drive to the hoop first.
Yeah. He backs down more than Cat does, honestly. Prince will back somebody down way quicker than Cat will do it.
He averages 12 attempts and 2 to 7 and 3-pointer. So he is way more someone that'd rather go to the rack or like, try to draw a foul or try to go mid-range, then a three. Like, he'll knock down the wide open threes, no doubt. But those windows get a lot tighter when the defense is playing a lot harder in the playoffs, because there is no next week. There is no next month. You just got to get through these 7 games.
Yep. So if the Celtics do make you have them making them out the East, can the Celtics compete with the team from the West, like the Thunder, or whoever comes up the West, the Thunder, the Spurs, the Nuggets, Timberwolves?
That's obviously a much tougher question to answer than getting out of the East. Because remember, we had Jason Tatum out, Tyrese Halliburton out, Giannis, who knows what was happening, Dame out, and then obviously sent to Portland and everything. Is like, this East is up for the taking. It could be anybody's conference to steal. West, it was like, the Thunder. Oh, yeah, the Nuggets. Oh, the Spurs are way ahead of schedule. Okay, they're there as well. So it's going to be really tough for me to think that anyone really could overtake the Thunder in a 7-game series at this point. And I know, it's the vanilla go-to easy pick. But it's the easy pick for a reason.
Yeah.
They are the best
win the
defensive
West.
team by far. They
win.
They don't lose. They don't lose. And even the Spurs team, they are ahead of schedule. I just think Victor Wembanyama is so special that when he finally reaches that top gear, who's gonna stop him? He already does spectacular. He's Karl Anthony Towns, but does everything. He's someone that when players are within his vicinity, even from the 3-point line, they're scared to shoot if Wemby's within 2 feet, because he could just close out so fast and swat you into the stands. He is so he's an anomaly. He's just one of those guys that he is that dude. Just plain simple. Doesn't matter who he would be. He would be someone that you could put a college team around him, and he'll still be a competitive just all by himself. And look, you got Stephon Castle, you got De'Aaron Fox, and I play more Devin Vassell, and I just think that they have potential. But this Thunder team, man, it's so boring to say. But 1 through 5, no one has a better 1 through 5 than the Thunder, plain simple. And Shai could very well be MVP this year once again, which I think he deserves.
He is a huge favorite. I was looking it up actually before we went on. DraftKings has him at -1,000. So if you
golly,
so what that would mean, if you're not familiar, if you bet $100 for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to win MVP, you're not winning much because it's just a gimme. I mean, second place right now, as of a couple hours ago for MVP, is Luka at +1,000.
And we speaking of that though, and obviously Shai has done everything, but Luka has better stats than Shai across the board. And when we're speaking of MVP race, I mean, Luka is averaging 8 rebounds a game, 8 assists a game, and 33 points? 33 points a game. That is more in everything than Shai's averaging. Shai's averaging 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 31 points. So should it really be that big of a gap? I mean, and they played the exact same amount of games. They both played 59 games. So it's not like one's played way more games. They played the exact same amount of games. Luka's averaging more in every category. Luka's also averaging 2 steals a game? 1.5 steals a game?
1.6. Shai has 1.4. So he averages more steals. Shai has him in blocks at 0.8 and more efficient numbers as far as field goal percentage, 55 to 47 and 39 from 3, compared to Luka's 36. So, if you want to play the efficiency game, Shai has him beat, but Luka has been on a tear.
So, turns the ball over a little bit more. But
I think what it comes down to is that the Thunder from the get-go, they at one point they only have 1 loss in their first 25, 26 games. Just to start the season, they're going on a crazy pace where they could have very well beat the Warriors 73 win record at one point. But obviously things slowed down. Shai got hurt for a while, so that end up being, just a vague memory to everyone. I just think that even though Luka has been playing very well, it feels like it's too little, too late. Like he's not gonna like the 3 seed is the ceiling for the Lakers at this point. So if they slide towards the end, like I don't see how that would add credibility to Luka. Don't get it twisted. Luka has been amazing. He's been the main engine of that Lakers team. But again, what we're seeing out of this Thunder team is just pure dominance, and that starts with Shai.
I mean, Shai, back-to-back MVP, Finals MVP last year. It's just when you look at the numbers, it's much closer than I think people think. I think everybody, assumes Shai's just ahead, but Luka's in the exact same amount of games doing everything Shai's doing. I think when more it comes to Luka has to for the Lakers to win. Shai is that team has players everywhere, and he's still doing it. He's still the leader of that team. So I feel like that plays a part. Obviously, Shai plays way better defense than Luka does. So that might play a little bit of a role in it too, because Luka's defense is questionable, and Shai you can trust on defense. But numbers wise, they're basically the exact same. So that's why I bring up that topic. But to go into our last topic, we've talked about all these good teams, all the playoffs. Let's go to the opposite end and talk about bad teams, man. Because that's why I get to talk about my team, the Pacers. I can finally, my team finally gets to be talked about.
Hey, your team just beat my team for some odd reason.
They sure did.
Screws the tank.
You have to make it look like, oh, we're not tanking that bad. We can still win. We can
Good.
Win
then let the Clippers take your pick then.
No, hey, chill. Whoa. They got Benning Mathurin. That's better than a pick, okay? They got a spar out of Benning Mathurin. All right. But the Pacers, other than finally winning today, we were on a 16-game losing streak. The second longest losing streak this year was a Pacers 15-game losing streak earlier in the season. So we've kind of mastered the tanking of losing. We've only won 16 games this season. So we just lost as many games in a row as we've won total this season. So kind of mastered it. Right now, we're obviously that makes us tied first place to get the number 1 pick. It's us, the Wizards, and the Nets. Those are the 3 teams, all Eastern Conference teams. East just kind of sucks. All in the top 3 teams, you have a big drop off on teams. Who do you guys think? Obviously, them one team doesn't only get it. Who do you guys think gets that number 1 pick? Obviously, I'm going with the Pacers. I want the Pacers to get it. If we get a number 1 pick this year, this team is a top 5 team in the East next year, easily, because we were
100%.
dominant last year. I won't say dominant, but we were really good last year. Obviously, made it to the finals. We get Halliburton back, and I can only imagine Halliburton with Zubac at center, somebody can actually get a rebound now, because I have a lot to say about Miles Turner. I got to watch Miles Turner for years. Great defender, can block. Shooting wise, he can shoot when he's feeling good, but when he's not. But the dude was 7 foot, averaging like 3 rebounds a game. That was embarrassing. And then he never got better than that. He could never get a rebound. So we finally got a rebounder. We get score. We get that number 1 pick and get who I really want is Steven Asta. We get him with Nembhard, Halliburton, Siakam, Zubac. That's a deadly team over there. And we need the number 1 pick. We've been so good. I don't think we've never once in Pacers history had the number 1 pick. So why don't we get the number 1 pick this year? That's all I gotta say.
I hate to break it to you, but the NBA lottery is rigged beyond belief. After the Cooper Flag, you had the reasonable doubt when you had the Cavaliers getting back-to-back with the owner's son. You had the Spurs with such little odds just magically flying up and getting Victor Wembanyama. Mavericks do the most catastrophic trade in NBA history, giving up their best player in the middle of his prime, fresh off an NBA Finals appearance, and magically they get the number 1 pick with 1.5% odds or whatever it was. They were borderline a lottery team, borderline a play-in team, and still magically got Cooper Flag despite almost ending their whole franchise in total. And honestly, the Pacers, the NBA gods, let's just call it, if you want to get mystical with it, they don't love the Pacers. And like this past playoff run was kind of like your run, because how many buzzer beaters and game winners, comebacks, it came down to the wire, and Halliburton was clutch, no doubt. But they weren't like a convincing team winning these games. They were doing it, based on luck and whim. My opinion, and I think it's long overdue for the Brooklyn Nets to get a number 1 pick. I think
I don't
they've
know why I care
stunk
about the
for so
Brooklyn
long.
Nets. No.
But look, they are beyond pathetic. Like, and it's been, I know the New York Knicks are the New York franchise there, but the Nets, they're practically giving away tickets for these little, like, they should not be as bad as they were, and they created so far after the big three all left town that someone like a Darren Peterson on the Nets could start getting some buzz back into Brooklyn. I think that's likely the most likely of the three, but I definitely understand Paris your need for like the Pacers to finally make that step.
Dylan, I would agree with you about Brooklyn, except for the fact that this past year in 2025 they had 5 first-round picks, and they used 4 of them on guards, and they are still in the bottom 3.
Hey, they can take Darren Peterson all they want. They can have him. I'm not worried about him. I don't think they're bad players. The Pacers don't need a guard.
And I will say, like if you're trying to do the argument of, oh well, the NBA just like magically, I know it was bizarre circumstances with Cooper Flag going to Dallas. I get that, but I mean, if you're talking like that type of argument, well, that means that the number 1 pick is going to go to Milwaukee, so Giannis could stay put and have someone to play with.
Oh,
that's not happening either. That's not going to happen. The number 1 pick is going to either Indiana, Washington, or Sacramento. And that is going to be Indiana. Oh, cool. Now they'll build something. Washington, Sacramento is going to be like, oh, okay. They get a player.
Sacramento does not deserve a number 1 pick. What are they going to do? That's not going to make
they got Trae Young.
Newsflash, 90% of the teams eligible for the number 1 pick do not deserve the number 1 pick.
Well, the lottery, we don't get to see how these things are picked. That's the thing that always got me. At least you used to have like the visualization of the ping pong balls going and seeing who got picked. Now we just got to believe that this random accounting firm is actually telling the truth when they're saying that these picks were these magic ping pong balls that all go in these random numbers, that like a literal lottery. Like, it's not just like, oh, here's a bingo machine. Like, it's like, here, who got this combination of numbers, you got the pick. I just can't see, like, I could see a Wizards getting a number 1 pick, because it's like you got Davies, you got Trae Young, and they're not the most reliable guys. Having a young guy would revive the Washington Wizards pretty well. Kings, I don't see it. The Kings are kind of a mess, and they're like a redhead stepchild of California. So I don't know that Sacramento. But
well, let me throw this out at you, since you're thinking, oh, it's quote unquote rigged or this or that. Well, you know what? If it is, then let the Clippers get the number 1 pick. Why? Because it goes to the Thunder.
Oh God, no, that's too much.
They're unprotected pick.
They don't need it.
Well, of course they don't need it, but in your world and what you're talking about, that's a more likely scenario than the Wizards or Kings getting it.
Yeah, but the Thunder wouldn't be a fun first number 1 pick. Like, they already have everything they possibly need. Like, I'm talking about teams that
who realistically, besides the Pacers, to Paris' credit, what team that is in the lottery right now would be a quote unquote fun number 1 pick for them to go to? None of them.
The only other thing the Pacers, the Hawks could be okay, because they got Jalen Johnson.
If the season ended today, Hawks aren't in the lottery.
No, but they have the Pelicans pick, and the Pelicans have a bad record, so they have
that's true
to get the number 1 pick. So they could be a potential.
Well, we see how well they did the last time they had a number 1 pick.
Oh, well, I mean, well, to be fair, Sarr just didn't want to go there. Sarr was supposed to be that guy, and Sarr was like, I'd rather get banished to Washington than go and play for Atlanta. So, hey, if Sarr wants to go to Washington, who's to say that another potential number 1 pick wants to go there? So,
I would realistically say, like, looking at the teams, that on someone that I would just kind of like in my gut, I'd be like, hey, good for this team to get the number 1 pick, Memphis. Because you traded Jaren Jackson for some ungodly reason. You need to move on from Ja Morant, which you're trying to do, and hopefully he's not there at the start of next season. You start fresh, you get a top pick there, and you try to start something. Because those fans, I mean, they have not been as punished as Dallas has been because of the whole Luka fiasco, but they've been through quite a bit these last few years. So I would root for the Grizzlies.
3-4 years ago, they were a top seed, and they were like, this team has everybody was like, this team has a future.
I don't understand why they fired their head coach. Last season towards the end of the year too. Like when they were playing as well as they were like a 3 or 4 seed last year, and they're trending downwards. And they still
same for the Bucks firing their head coach.
God, yeah, the Bucks and also the Nuggets. They got rid of Michael Malone. Yeah, too. Like that was such a weird series of events with those head coaches getting fired.
You know what happened to all those? Other than the Grizzlies, all those coaches that got fired lost the Pacers right before they got fired.
The head coach killer, the Pacers.
Then the Pacers went to the finals.
So it's your fault, Paris.
Yeah.
Got it.
Honestly, I mean, we took out all the coaches. Then we went through and everybody was the year before that, everybody was having injury issues, and the Pacers were going through it until we finally lost. Then last year we got rid of all the coaches. Tatum got injured, and we beat the Knicks. And then it finally hit. You've done so much, but there goes Tyrese Halliburton. And then Indiana never got a break. Halliburton went down. Caitlin Clark went down. Daniel Jones went down. We just started a whole line of people going down.
It hasn't been the best 12 months for Indiana sports, except for football. Except for college football.
It was all for IU.
In a just world, the Pacers, considering all of that hurt, would get the number 1 pick. But when the Chicago Bulls are staring down the barrel of that number 1 pick for no reason, and they look at Darren Peterson like they used to see Derrick Rose, Chicago may go crazy once again. So who knows? We'll see. I mean, that's the thing with the lottery. You can always speculate. You can look at the odds, but the odds mean nothing when the worst record doesn't get the best odds. You kind of flatten the top 3 teams. So it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You could be the 3rd worst team and still have the best odds. So that's why I like to say it's rigged, because it doesn't make sense. There's no real proof or calculus behind this. They kind of just on a whim, like, oh yeah, you get 8%, you get 6.4%, you get 3%. Who cares?
And obviously, I want to stab that pick, but as long as a team, unlike the Kings, get that pick, I think we'll be okay, because everybody's looking at Darren Peterson being the number 1 pick. I don't need Darren Peterson. We have Halliburton, we have Nembhard, we have obviously T.J. McConnell's older, but he's a great off the bench. There is no reason for us to drive Darren Peterson. There's just it wouldn't fit. So
I like the Bansa a lot. The Bansa's a potential one. Boozer,
and that's what worries me. Because I'm like, if the Nets get the number 1 pick, they're probably drafting a guard. I could be okay with that. If the Wizards get the number 1 pick, it worries me, because I'm like, okay, they have a bunch of guards. They're probably not drafting a guard. They could take the guy. So that worries me a little bit, If we don't get the number 1 pick, it really depends who does, because everybody's looking at Darren Peterson. I'm not worried about that. I want AJ. That's the main guy I want. And it's really I feel like a lot of it seems like it's between him and Darren who's going number 1. So if we don't get number 1, which again, I'm pushing for us to, what better time for us to, probably the first time for us to ever get a number 1 pick is now to get this guy, because every other year we've been building players. We built Paul George. Obviously, we traded for Tyrese Halliburton, but he's become such a better player. We had Andrew Nembhard. We built Bennedict Mathurin, then we shipped him. We've been able to build so many players, drafting dead in the middle, because we're always 6, 7, 8 seeds somewhere and getting out of there. So we're always dead middle, getting a pick, able to build that player. Let us get a number 1 pick finally. Yeah, they've never liked this. So this is our time. We finally had a really bad year. They already wanted to sue us for not playing Pascal Siakam, even though he missed 3 games. Oh no, he missed 3 games. Like, oh my God, such a big idea. Let us get the pick. Just no other team is interesting, other than if somehow the Hawks hit the pick. If the Hawks hit the pick, sure, they could do something, but they're not going as far as we would as number 1 pick. They're going nowhere like we are. That's all I'm saying. Let us get back to the finals. We're beating the Thunder. That's all I say.
Yeah. I mean, AJ Vance is really gonna look weird in a Brooklyn Nets jersey when the Pacers are sitting at that 4 pick and they miss out on all 3. Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah, and then we
really.
gotta draft a power forward, and we got Siakam at power forward. It's granted again, the Pacers have done so well that no matter who we pick, it should work out. We've been good. We've been really good drafting.
As long as you still have your pick and it doesn't go to the Clippers.
That's the only.
Yeah, I mean, if it
That's the
dropped
only
that
worry.
far, that'd be tough.
But yeah, the draft would do that to us. Oh, it would do that to us. We'd get rid of Bennett Mathurin, and then we don't get a pick. Oh, yeah, man.
Well, you keep sneaking out wins like you just did on my Orlando Magic. Then
I mean, you lose 16 in a row. I feel like that's enough, right? Like how much losing?
It's still 10 more games. It's a 10-game winning streak, maybe coming. You don't know.
Hey, you go 500 in these last 10 games. You then become maybe like the 4th worst team. You could very well lose that pick, depending on how the ping pong balls fall.
Listen, our next games, granted, we have the Lakers. LeBron doesn't lose to the Pacers. He could be 100 years old. He's not losing to the Pacers. It's actually very annoying. So we're not winning that game. The Clippers, I don't know. The Heat should beat us. Oh, then we got to face the Bulls. Yeah.
Well, no, looking at your schedule, just about all these teams should beat you.
But
yeah, doesn't mean they will. It doesn't mean they will.
16 games. We've only won 16 games. Everybody should beat us. But I mean, when you throw a Bulls in there, you know what the Bulls going.
I mean, the biggest problem with how these standings are falling is that the play-in games on both sides of the conference already are set. So, like, you know, the Pelicans, for example, they're 8 games behind the Warriors. For the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks are 8 games behind the Hornets. So now it's all these bad teams they much rather lose than win because winning doesn't do anything for them besides worsening their odds at the lottery. And in this lottery, you want to get in the top 5 because let's just say, even if you are number 4, Caleb Williams is right there. Acuff is also looking like someone that, you know, if you're in that top 5, you know, you'd be happy with Darius Acuff because the Arkansas, he was going off to start the tournament with Arkansas. So, you know, you can't really go wrong, but obviously with the Pacers, it's such higher stakes considering the protection on the pick. So
I cannot wait for you end the season against Detroit, who will be benching everyone anyway, because at that point they would have already like clinched their spot. and that game could like decipher where you fall in the draft odds. Because it's going to come down to the final game with a few of those teams at the bottom.
Yeah, the Wizards, the Nets.
I mean, because 2 of your last 3 are against Brooklyn and Detroit. So, Brooklyn might only put 4 people on the court for all we know. And we don't know.
They'll try their best. They'll put their whole G League team in. And
it doesn't matter. Michael Porter will throw up 50 shots though. That don't matter. He'll still throw up 50 shots from 3-point line. That's what he'll do. So he might pull it off. Okay, he can't not shoot the ball.
No, he's too good to not shoot. He's the best guy in that team, head and shoulders. So he's gonna shoot 2 guys in front of him, the whole team in front of him. He's shooting. Doesn't matter.
And it would be the NBA to let the Bucks fall some games and then give them the number 1 pick to keep Giannis. I know you mentioned that, but it would. Why wouldn't they do that? You know, all this Giannis drama. Why wouldn't it end with the Bucks getting the number 1 pick?
I think Giannis is done with the Bucks. I don't think he's gonna he's kind of playing the will they won't they.
Yeah.
The Bucks should be done with Giannis. Forget Giannis. The Bucks should be done with Giannis. Like,
no, Giannis has all the power, and he's been so like, you know, kind of winking and nodding. Like he's doing it respectfully. Like he's not like a James Harden who would call Dale Morey a liar in China, like, you know, in front of a bunch of kids. Like, you know, like he's not the type of person to be doing stuff like that. Like he seems like a stand-up classy guy, and the Bucks need him. He's still one of the best players in the league on a night-to-night basis. So, but if Giannis makes a big stink and wants to go, I'm pretty sure the Bucks would be happy getting rid of his contract. So he is getting paid so much money that, you know, it's not like they're competing with him unless if they were to magically get a pick and this rookie becomes like the next Damian Lillard duo. Like it kind of seems like they're played out and it's done there. Giannis did his job. He got a ring from Milwaukee, first
He
time in
did.
decades. Like, I think it's finally time for him to close that chapter.
Well, let's say that would be a conversation I think we'll go into next week with, because I do think if I'm Milwaukee, I'm done with Giannis. So we can definitely talk about that next week. Coming up, our last week of the NBA season, see how the playoffs are filing out. Who's gonna be facing who in the playoffs. We talk about the draft lottery. Did the Pacers win more games? So we decided to win a game today against a team that's gonna be in the playoffs. So who knows what we're gonna do? It's the Pacers. We'll start making random shots. So tune in next week, Monday at 9 o'clock on the Pull the Chair podcast. Stay tuned for Josh on his shows coming up on Wednesday and Thursday. So stay tuned to look at his show, and just stay tuned for the Gryd Network. Pull the Chair podcast on Gryd Network at 9 o'clock.